morality come from God when he endorses slavery, murder, and rape clearly in the Bible?
First of all, is there something wrong with slavery, murder, and rape?
Yes, there is.
Why?
Because it sucks for the people that you're raping or enslaving or murdering.
But it might be fun for the people who are doing it. Again, you're importing a moral law to criticize what the Bible says. Let's leave the Bible out of it for a second. Suppose the Bible isn't true. What you can say is, I think the Bible's wrong morally. But what you can't say is, the Bible's wrong morally, but I don't have a standard to call it immoral. You can say that the Bible's immoral only if you have a God that says the Bible's immoral.
Now that was some utter bullshit on multiple points. And not just on the point because I'm coming from a black man's perspective as far as slavery is concerned, because if you've seen any of my videos or some of my videos about slavery, I contest that at some point in time in history, every culture has enslaved themselves and every culture has enslaved other people. So Polynesians have been slaves, black people have been slaves, people from India have been slaves, Asians have been slaves, Caucasians have been slaves. So everybody can go in their history and find at some point in time everybody's been enslaved. But at no point in time should have ever been a moral thing. And for him to say that you're importing your moral standards of today into the Bible is just really indicating that we are more moral than the Bible is, because we would never enslave another person with our standard of morality today, for the most part, because there are some people who still believe that that is a viable moral standard. Yet I do still question that, because if they did so, they would do it publicly and not privately, because people sneak around and hide modern day slavery instead of it being just a part of whatever culture, country that we're looking at today. Now, he is also making a apples and oranges kind of comparison there, straw man, if you will, when he's saying that in order for you to be able to have a standard of morality, you have to have a God in order to enforce that morality. And this is where we differ, because the fact of the matter is, there have been many cultures that did not have a God, but yet had morality. It begs the question of, where did morality start? And morality didn't start because somebody believed in a divinity, but morality starts because people begin to develop relationships with one another and thereby create societies, and moralities grow as those relationships and then societies begin to grow. So the fact that he says you have to have a God in order to have morality is a false statement.
Yes.
Okay? But you can't be an atheist and say the Bible's immoral.
Wait a sec. I'm an atheist. I can say the Bible's immoral.
Yeah, but you can't justify it because you have no standard of morality by which to say something's immoral.
Yes, I do.
What is it?
I have
That's
a standard of morality. It's not okay to kill someone or rape someone or enslave someone.
But that's just your opinion. Hitler says it is.
Yes, opinions are subjective.
So it's not an objective morality then. That's what you're saying, right? Morality's not objective.
No, it's not.
Okay, so there's nothing wrong with the Nazis. There's nothing wrong with slavery.
To them, there's not, but to us, there is. And it's very clear that societies that don't do that are much better off.
Again, you're importing a moral law. You guys see what we're doing here?
Okay, we're going in circles.
We're going in circles because you don't have a standard by which to judge anything moral or immoral if you're an atheist.
Now that part was also flat out wrong. Flat out wrong. To say that morality is subjective is actually a way of deflecting the argument that morality is actually very much objective on some core issues. Now, there are certain superfluous areas where morality is subjective, but there are certain moral absolutes. And there is only one thing I can say that would indicate what are moral absolutes, and that is follow the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Treat other people how you would want them to be how you would want to be treated. Those are moral absolutes, because at the end of the day, no matter who you are, no matter how you grew up, certain of those are moral absolutes. Murder. Do you want to be murdered? No. So you don't murder. Moral absolute. Do you want to be stolen from? No. So do not steal. A moral absolute. Do you want to be sexually molested? No. So you don't sexually molest someone else. A moral absolute. There are certain moral absolutes that we all share that are not subjective but are exactly objective. So in all those arguments that I've had with people where they were saying morality is subjective, there are certain core things that are not subjective. The human necessity of survival and the pursuit of happiness are not subjective, they are moral absolutes. And so therefore his argument is wrong in trying to say that there are no moral absolutes and that you only can have one if you have a God. And the fact that he then is trying to say that we're going in circles is him trying to escape the actual conversation because he knows that he's absolutely wrong.
Where does this moral obligation come from that we ought not murder people? What makes life valuable if there is no God? Nothing. That's the problem. You know, outside every road here, there is a speed limit, right? You can see right outside here, it might say 35 miles an hour. You can know the speed limit and deny that there was someone behind that speed limit. You can know it, but the reason there's a speed limit sign is because there's some authority that put that sign up, right? What we're talking about as Christians is not whether you can read the sign. We all agree you can. We're saying the only thing that makes sense for universal moral obligation, for universal morality, is a standard that we're obligated to obey, and that standard can only be God's nature. Evolution can't give you that. Evolution is a biological process that has no authority to tell you what to do.
Again, what makes life valuable is the fact that you have life. That's what makes life valuable. And it is not who created your life that makes life valuable, but the fact that you have life, the fact that you birth life, that is what makes life valuable. And it is in that value of survival, that value of pursuit of your own happiness, is what makes life valuable and is what creates morality. I do not need a deity to have morality. I just need to have life. And since energy can neither be created nor destroyed, and my consciousness has always been here, and I may not know how it all began, and nobody will ever know how it all began, to be honest, the fact that I exist is not an indication of a God. It's not an indication of some being. The fact that I exist is just the fact that I exist. It's unexplainable. And we will forever be trying to explain that. But morality, again, comes when I develop personal relationship with myself and then start to develop relationships with other people. My own survival of self and the survival of those who I am become emotionally and mentally connected to, those create morality. Because there is no unconditional love. There is love for a return on that investment. If I beat the hell out of you, you're not going to love me and continue to love me. You're going to lose that. And the fact that he's saying that having a deity is the only reasonable explanation, well, I think I just showed that there are other reasonable explanations. And if evolution is correct, then even within evolution, they had to evolve the cognition of relationship, and then from relationship to society, and so on and so forth. So evolution, therefore, can breed morality, because we can see that in our own history of how the evolution of our society has ended slavery, for the most part, has laws against rape, has laws against murder, has laws against theft. It has laws against things because our society has evolved. So y'all have a great day, and remember always, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.